Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
AKA. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
All right, so welcome back, you guys. It's your girl Moni.
And this is Kat.
And we're the Fake Ass Book Club, you guys. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, friend. We just came off of a cosplaying holiday.
We did.
And I feel like our outfits today reflect that.
Yeah, it's a much more relaxed style today. It was a cool autumn day with lots of sunshine, but I had to spend a lot of it outdoors, so I wanted to make sure that I dressed for comfort.
Same here. I had a lot of running around to do this morning. And yeah, just comfort, man. This is what it be like. I mean, if we're just being honest, this is it. So, and I feel like it's nice for today too, because our topic for the day, the book that we're actually going to be covering, top of the show, I should say that you guys definitely trigger warning. We're going to be talking a lot about sexual abuse, trafficking, all of these kinds of things. So
Incest.
Yes. So we are getting into some topics that could be triggering. So just keep that in mind. If that's something that might bother you, you guys
And
might,
self-harm.
Yes. So just putting all of those things out there, you guys. Keep that in mind as you enjoy this episode. If that's something that might bother you, maybe skip it or revisit it when you're in a mind frame where you think you can kind of listen in. So I want to give you guys a topic for this week. We announced it twice, I feel like. The first time Kat thought the book was out, but it wasn't.
Yes.
Which was so cute because she was so excited. I see why, though. This was a really good book.
Thank you.
And we announced it again, and then I couldn't make it happen. And so here we are this week, guys, a real book club. Actually haven't reviewed this book. So this book is called Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre. And I'm going to give you guys a little synopsis about this book. So this says... Nobody's Girl, the powerful and unsettling memoir by Virginia. Who's that? Let's start it again. Nobody's Girl, the powerful, unsettling memoir by Virginia Giuffre. Virginia, okay, all right. I'm going to put Roberts in here too because I want to put respect on her full name here. Okay, Nobody's Girl.
Oh boy. Now we're here. It's too serious.
Not funny.
It's too serious. This is your nervous system trying to
It's so
compensate.
bad,
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, it's not funny. Okay, at all. Not even a little bit. All right. Nobody's Girl, the powerful and unsettling memoir by Virginia Roberts Giuffre. The woman who helped expose Jeffrey Epstein's global web of exploitation. Through Giuffre's own words, we explore her journey from vulnerable teen caught in a system of abuse to a fierce advocate for justice and survivor empowerment. Whew, I made it. Oh my God. I didn't think I was going to do it, friend.
I knew you would.
So stressful.
Oh, yeah. I had no doubt.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this is her powerful memoir, you guys. We're really digging into some highly disturbing topics, definitely sensitive things. So we just, there's nothing to do but to get into it, guys. That's all that there is. So before we get into the show, I do want to do a quick dedication. So if you guys would, hands over your hearts, everyone. This week and every week, we want to start off dedicating this episode to our patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you're interested in becoming a patron, please pop over to Patreon/TheFabPodcast for bonus content. We would truly appreciate it, and I think you'll enjoy it. And also, I wanted to... So obviously, I feel like I have to dedicate this episode to the any and all survivors of any sexual abuse, grooming, anything along those lines. And then I wanted to pull up, hold on. There was this story here in Indianapolis where a young man was not even that far from where I live, actually, which was kind of crazy. Driving, 21 or 22 years old, driving down the street. Somebody in front of him the light was green. They still didn't go or whatever. So he honks his horn and then ends up just going around them, right? Because they didn't go. This lady proceeds to follow him down the street and shoots him dead. His girlfriend was in the car, had to jump over into the driver's seat and drive him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. But just my heart goes out to him, his family. It just highlights how crazy everything is.
People don't need guns. I'm sorry. Like, this is why, because too many people are crazy. Like, there's not enough stable people in our society for there to be this many guns.
It's just so sad.
Yeah.
So my heart goes out to your family. It should have never happened. So just want to put that out there too.
No. And it doesn't happen in places where they don't let everybody have guns.
My God.
Because it's not like they don't have crazy people.
There's no shortage of crazy people in the world.
They're all over the place.
But to your dedication, friend.
Yes, and mine is more to your dedication for all the survivors of predators, especially to someone I know personally who was in the news this week. Rafael Sanchez sat down with my friends Nicole and Mackenzie Glover to discuss the predation they suffered at their job. The principal of their school recently had to step down. They are pressing charges. It's a whole thing. She's out there every day, like protesting, making sure this happens, because this doesn't happen in a vacuum. There are all these systems in place protecting these people. Dedication over. But even the guy that they're suing right now, like, he's been shuffled from school district, having had and even attempted to, have them silenced. So
right. Really? Okay.
So, I mean, this is just the nature of it. You know what I mean? This is always this whole thing of, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it, guys.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
But, yeah.
But let's get into the author really quickly here. I'm pretty sure you have a little something to read about our author for today.
Very
so
little.
Let the people know.
It's teeny, minuscule. All right. Virginia Louise Roberts Giuffre was an American and Australian advocate for survivors of sex trafficking and one of the most prominent accusers of the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Giuffre pursued criminal and civil actions against Epstein and Maxwell while appealing directly to the public for justice and awareness. Sadly, Giuffre died by suicide in April of this year, and her memoir, Nobody's Girl, came out posthumously in October.
And just to note too, she founded in 2015 a Victims Refuse Silence, which was a U.S. nonprofit organization that was dedicated to supporting survivors of these horrific traumas. So yeah, dedication just to her too, because like you said, I mean, this is one of those.
And it was relaunched as SOAR. Speak Out. Okay. It's now Speak Out, Act, Reclaim.
I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just wanting to shout her out specifically because I feel like that's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're speaking truth to power that has way more resources. They have so much to lose. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so do the victims though.
Well, yeah, like the victims actually have a lot more to lose, because it really doesn't seem like a lot of times the predators lose all that much. Like, we got someone sitting up in the White House right now. Like, they don't lose a whole lot for whatever reason, but their accusers tend to.
Yeah, it's just.
And sometimes even their lives. Like, a lot of times when people are like, I was scared for my life, they're not just saying that.
Yeah, that's not just, oh, you're being cute and funny. It's like, no. So, where do we even start, friend? Well, let me give you guys a couple of little stats on this book first. So, this book was ghostwritten with a journalist, Amy Wallace, and published, as Kat mentioned, posthumously October the 21st, 2025 by Alfred Knopf, a division of Penguin Random House. The book was 400 pages and the audiobook was 13 hours and 39 minutes. So it took me a minute to get through it. Definitely not because it was boring or dry or anything like that. And I really appreciate the fact that our author recognized like how hard it is to listen to a lot of the abusive things that happen, because it was just like all bad top to bottom mostly.
Starting early,
Starting
too.
very early. And so there were just times during the book where she would say, okay, I understand this is a lot. So I'm going to give you a burst of like a happy thing that's happening like right now as I'm writing this book.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, that took a lot of just, I don't know, foresight. And just being a compassion of being for readers, even though you're the one who ultimately was, abused and stuff. But it is hard to recount trauma to people because, just like you experienced it, like sometimes people do hit a wall in terms of like hearing about certain things. So, I appreciated that about the writing style. But let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this book. So this young woman was from Florida.
Well, I think she was originally born in Sacramento, but raised in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, she was born in Sacramento and later on relocated to Loxahatchee in Florida.
Loxahatchee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a place where there's not a lot going on.
Yeah.
And for better or for worse. But.
Well, I would, even before the story, I want to talk about like a little bit of what Amy Wallace wrote in her note in the book, because I thought that was very interesting that she included it. The fact that, working with anybody about a life story, especially one marked with so much violence and trauma, just the way we choose to remember things. And she said that can we just call her Jenna from here on out? I feel like everybody just called her Jenna. Jenna's family, like her brothers, everybody wanted us to know that the rosy picture she kind of painted of the relationship between her and her husband, it wasn't that sweet. That there was actually a lot of history of domestic violence between the two of them, and they wanted that on the record. And I can appreciate that a lot, just as someone who's been in relationships and you want to focus on the good and stuff like that. So it can be really hard when you have this person who really helps you get out of a bad situation, but at the same time, it's very, very common to go from one abuser to another. And I'm glad that we set that framework up before going into the story, because just the story that was kind of painted, you would have just thought that her husband was this, you wouldn't have picked that up.
No, not even a little bit. Maybe at the beginning part of their relationship, but you would have just chalked that up to them being young or something like that, But yeah, that was very interesting. And like you said, it was like at the family's insistence. So that was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm also interested, like, not that it's any of our business, but she did make it a point of saying in the book, like, don't believe him if they said I killed myself. At the same time, she admits to 2 suicide attempts.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, but they also don't say how she died. They just said on her farm. It makes me think a little bit of Everyone's Lying to You. Because I was like, not that it matters, but if she took pills and went out like that, I'll believe it. But if she hanged herself, I don't believe it.
Most people aren't. That. Yeah.
And I also would like to know who found her. Because if it's it's always suspicious, because I think at the time she was estranged from her husband. So I always feel like it's just a little suspicious when somebody dies when they're in the middle of a breakup.
I don't know, but it's worth it. It's, definitely it's a question.
It's just highly suspicious that she died right before the book came out.
Yeah, and the fact that she reached out to the lady she was writing the book with to say, like, if anything happens to me, like, please still publish the book.
Yeah.
So let's get into this book.
So that's the background.
Yeah, let's get into this book, though. So do you want to do a little breakdown of just how,
Okay, so Jenna, we're calling her Jenna.
Yeah.
So her life started out kind of nice, she's just growing up in the, Florida, got horses, climbing trees, having a good old time, good family life. But then when she's around 7, her daddy starts touching on her and lending her out to his friend to do the same thing. And so from a very early age, she's basically just been introduced into the world of sex. Side note, this is also something very common that you see for people who do get into sex trafficking. Like, I think almost half the time they're being trafficked by a family member. So that's just, I like to let people know it's nothing like Taken. Taken was just something some Hollywood writers came up with. It was not in any way based in anything factual. Most of the time, the people who are really being trafficked are people that you don't care about, that you see as either poor or foreigners or like I said, it used to be like on Geraldo, and they'll be like, my teenage daughter's out of control, or these teenage prostitutes. And it's like, I'm glad we don't use that language anymore, like teenage prostitute. Like that's gone out of fashion, and it should, because that's not a thing. You just have an exploited minor. That's what that is. So she starts out, you know, she's trying to be this really good kid. Like, it seems like there's always this sweetness in her spirit, like she was trying to hold on to. But, you know, things get crazy. Her mom kind of starts icing her out. It was very precious. You know what I mean? Where the mama is kind of like mad at you for taking her man. It's like...
Right, and her mom's drinking started picking up too.
So
yeah,
it's like and was also in denial at the same time. Like, she wouldn't confront it either. So she ends up... like getting in and out of trouble. Like the book I think starts with her escaping from what would you call it? Like a military
school for kids or whatever.
Yeah, who are out of control. And she escapes and she makes it to Dade County and immediately is sexually assaulted by the first person she meets, and then when she's sitting on the road crying, is picked up by another hustler who's pimping, mostly Czechoslovakian girls, but since she's blonde, blue eyes, he's like, I can put you in the harem. And she gets a job as a towel girl at Mar-a-Lago. Some people might recognize that as Trump's like resort hotel, little tacky thing in Florida. And but she's happy. She's like getting her life back together. She's like, I'm finally getting out of
because this is after she had gone to that terrible school, which was like, to me, that was a really crazy.
Oh yeah, because I'm skipping when she gets away from the guy who's pimping the Czechoslovakian girls. Like, she gets away from him, and her daddy comes and picks her up, and then
ships her off to this boarding school. This for naughty kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this is reform school. But what's crazy is that they were at a family function, and she was like it was like a family reunion type thing, and something happened. Oh, she's walking down the street with some boy. Remember, she was like walking down the street with some boy, and it was like benign. Nothing was happening. They're just walking down the street, and then the dad pulls up drunk, like, "What the fuck are you doing, you slut?" And then the dude was like, "I ain't even do nothing. We just walking down the street." So he gets her back to their trailer or their little whatever camper or whatever, and he's going off on her and stuff. And she was like, "I know all my family members are here, and he's been abusing me all this time. So like, I'm wanting to like say it out loud." So she's like shouting out, like, what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been abusing me all this time. Nothing even happened, but you've been having sex with me this whole time. You've been doing stuff to me. And she's like hoping that like somebody hears, somebody intervenes. Nobody does.
And
she's like the next morning smacks the shit out of her.
In front of everybody.
And face off, messed up. And then the next morning, nobody's saying anything. They're just cooking breakfast. And so like, I just think about how disheartening that is. Like when
you talk about betrayal.
Listen, definitely on the betrayal list. Like when your daddy and your family
and your
allow
mama.
you and your mom, everybody just allows you to.
Because I can't imagine I don't know.
It's a special
It was really hard because like she really didn't have anybody.
She didn't.
And it ended up, so like, when she's finally able, she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get my, go back to school. I'm gonna try to, get on the straight and narrow, all this stuff. So she's at Mar-a-Lago, floating towns, and she runs into Ghislaine Maxwell. Is it Ghislaine Maxwell?
G-Max.
I always feel like I'm saying it wrong.
That's what she wants to.
G-Max.
Ghislaine. That's how you say it.
Ghislaine. Whatever. And so she pulls up on her, clocks her immediately. She's like, oh, this girl broken as hell. I'm like, I know exactly what to do with you. So she's like, hey, I know a rich man who needs a masseuse. I see you studying the little massage book. And she's like, come with me. Brings her to Jeffrey Epstein and pretends like she's showing her how to massage her, but really it's just like, we gonna see how far we can push you. So she ends up having sex with both of them in that encounter, and then just
gives her $200.
And you have to understand, it gives her $200, and for people who don't have trauma brain, this feels crazy. You know what I mean? But for people who've, like I said, you've been
molested since you were 7 by your
Yeah,
dad.
like you
and
don't know
nobody's
how to
saying
say
anything.
no. Like this is just.
And you can freeze. Sometimes you could be in a situation, or you could be so robotic in a situation because you're trying to survive it.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, like
you rationalize it.
well,
Like,
and by this time, how old is she?
16.
You know what I mean? So she's 16 years old. So from the time that you're 7 to 16, the only value or worth, or the only way people are interacting with you is in a sexual way. So you can misconstrue or have a warped view on, like, okay, what people want from you, or what life is even about.
Or what I should even be
Or what
able
I
to
should
do,
be
or what I
doing.
can and can't say
Exactly.
no to.
Exactly.
So from there, it just escalates. And did you ever see the movie Lola?
Mm-mm.
Do you know what it is though? It was based on this like Twitter thread of this girl who basically got sex trafficked, or they were she ran into. Was this in Florida too? Lord, it was this black girl. She linked up with this white girl, and she basically ended up.
I remembered this, but I never saw it though.
It's a very interesting film. Once again, they take some liberties for entertainment values, but it pretty much kind of encapsulates like how this kind of stuff can happen. But what was interesting to me is like the blonde girl, she's hoeing.
And Lola?
In Lola, she's fully hoeing, but also has a boyfriend. And that seemed weird to me too, but that's what Jenna was doing too.
Yeah.
Like the whole, like for the first couple years she was messing with Epstein, she had a whole boyfriend.
And he knew.
Yeah, so it's a thing. Like to me, that's just.
Well, because he was. There's also to me this sort of parasitic relationship that he was having with her too, though, because he couldn't provide, air quotes, for her. You know what I mean? And she was providing a certain lifestyle that didn't require him to have to do anything. So it's like, I guess it's cool that my girl's getting busted down by this old rich man as long as he's paying our bills, so I don't have to provide. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess that's a certain kind of man out there. I don't know. But yeah, definitely
That to
a
me
thing.
was like,
It's super wild.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
got
wild.
jealous and was weird about it, and they were always fighting and stuff. And it's like,
Dude.
get lost then. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? What's the, why are you?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hide it or anything. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
and to the point where she's like, I actually don't even really want to do this. Like, I don't know how to get out of it at this point. You know what I mean? Like, they've put me on this payroll to the point where she agrees. Like, so she starts off just by, a couple times a week, she would return to do this thing or whatever. But then it was like, I want you to come on the road with us. Like, offering her the opportunity, basically, like, you can be his personal assistant. He gave her a stack of money and was like, yeah, but you have to be at our beck and call. Like, whenever we call you, you have to be available. And so,
And service whoever we want you
Whoever,
to. Because now
yeah.
he was like sourcing her out too. It wasn't just
That's
him
when that
and
started.
Ghislaine and stuff like that. Yeah.
so gross. I mean, just hearing the description of how he interacted with her and just other women and stuff, and how he was trying to make himself feel, I don't know, he wanted to seem like this intellectual person. And I think like the proximity that his wealth ended up bringing him to notable people, whether they were scientists or,
Yeah.
I know
I
famous
get
people
my
and stuff like
self-esteem
that.
from impressing teenagers.
Oh my God. Telling them how stupid they are. It's like, you don't know anything about the world.
It's like, I'm so wise compared to you.
compared to you. It's like, but then also just the glee that he seemed to get from stealing their innocence from them.
Yeah, like a
too.
vampire.
Like a whole vampire.
Okay, so no, I'm staying on track. We're describing what's happening in the book. I'll
Okay.
get to my little tangents later.
All right, I'll put vampire
But,
right here at the end. So we don't forget.
/ Twilight.
Okay.
So, also another tactic that predators use is threatening your loved ones.
Oh, that was messed up.
He shows her a picture of her brother going to school, and that'll terrify you.
Like, why do you know who my brother is, let alone where he goes to school?
Right. And so that already just pushes the panic button in your brain.
Yeah.
So this is what we're dealing with. And still at this time, what are we talking about? 16, 17? 18, whatever. So yeah, she starts going on the road with them. Eventually they approach her and are like, hey girl, we want you to have our baby. And she's like, oh, hell no. But she's like, you know what though? I'm learning I'm getting a little bit of the game. So she's like, let me pretend like I'm gonna say yes, but try to leverage this into an opportunity for me. Cause I still want to learn how to be a masseuse. So she's like, yeah, I'll do that. But first you guys got to actually send me to school so that I can make a living for myself one day. And so they're like, okay, fine, cool. We're going to send you to Thailand. You can learn Thai massage. Also, a lot of freaks in Thailand we can lend you out to. So she ends up doing that, but then she ends up meeting the guy who becomes her future husband, Robbie. Was that his name? Robbie. Okay, so
they sent her along too, which is pretty amazing. But she was supposed to be scouting this one particular Thai girl.
Right. But that's because they
there.
really thought they had her on lock and stuff like that. But yeah, she ends up meeting Robbie, and Robbie, takes his girl. The game is a game. She chose him. He was he was there doing the little Thai fighting and stuff like that. And so he's like, hey, just come with me. What did they know each other, like 3 weeks?
It was like 6 days later or something.
It was something crazy.
And then like they were together for some weeks before she actually like moved to Australia with him.
Yeah, so she goes to Australia with him, and then he slowly gets a peek into what he's gotten himself into.
That's why you don't be jumping like that.
Yeah, because he was like, okay, you
this
got
beautiful
a lot
blonde. I'm telling you, that blonde hair and blue eyes be doing it to him, boy. Yeah, little skinny.
Have you ever heard like the evolutionary thing behind like blonde hair and why that's like often preferred? It was like from like old-timey, like early, like primordial human days, because it was a genetic variant that made it easier for you to pick out your spouse from another one.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Humans are so
We're so simple. But
It's
listen,
like,
we
boom,
love a
there
good
she go.
blonde.
For sure. Absolutely. It's
You
cute.
know,
It's cute. It's a vibe.
Yeah. But okay, so she's in Australia with Robbie for a while. They end up having some kids. All this time though, she's still trying to, because she's with Robbie for 5 years before she hears from Epstein again.
Well, what's crazy too, just as a side note too, is this was the first time that she felt any real like parental love that she could remember since before she was 7. Because she was just like, it was really hard to get used to. She was like, for one, I didn't know how to do anything. Like I didn't know how to make coffee. I didn't know how to like do anything for myself. But not only that, like I think there was something where she was sick and Robbie's dad attended to her. And she was like, yo, he was feeding me soup. And like, she was like, it was just so weird because I had never experienced that. And I just like cracked my heart because I'm like, damn, man, that's crazy to me, because like as a parent who loves your kids and wants to be like, I will do stuff for my kids sometimes where I'm like, bitch, they can do this for themselves. But it's like I relish in being able to do these little things like, here goes some, I know you didn't ask, but here's some like a little snack I made because I was, now, you know what I mean? Just because you just love them so hard. So like the fact that like she wasn't, that was something that seemed foreign to her was like really heartbreaking. So anyway, and it just sort of pointed to the high contrast of how she grew up versus how he grew up too. And how that really plays a role in how your romantic relationships sort of play out in all of those kind of ways. So
yeah, your expectations and things. So okay.
So 5 years in.
5 years in. So she's and she's had her kids by now, or some of them. Did she have a baby by then?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because she
had 2 boys and a girl. So yeah, I forget why he reached out. Why did Jeffrey reach out after 5 years? Was he being prosecuted?
Yeah, so it was actually Ghislaine reached out first.
Okay.
To be like, hey, she was asking, has anybody reached out about them?
Right.
Because
she was putting out
unbeknownst to Jenna, they were being prosecuted. Like there was some sort of something in the court for them, and it was kind of like, well, we just want to make sure. Because she was like, why are you calling me? Like, in fact, how do you even know where I'm at? This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm on the other side of the world.
I'm on the other side of the world. You have my number. But basically just saying, well, like, we're, if you need any help with anything legally, let us know. But like, basically, like, don't say anything. And she's just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Nobody's reached out to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I want to forget. I know y'all. Like, I mean, the fact that you're even calling me right now is triggering. So at that point, she hadn't really launched into her activism. She was just still trying to pretend like nothing ever happened with all of that. So yeah, and then Epstein calls her like maybe a couple days or a week or so later. reiterating that same kind of thing, but just kind of like, because she was asking him like, where is this coming from, kind of. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, you know, he was the one I think that said, well, you know, the people who are basically like insinuating, like the people who are helping me, I'm helping them, but the people who aren't, it's gonna be a problem for you. So it was kind of threatening.
Trouble.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, trouble. Yeah, basically that. So.
Oh, okay. From there, we move on. And all the time, too, like she's trying to patch stuff up with her parents a little bit because at a certain point, they end up moving back to the States for a little while.
Yeah, this is after their kids were
also,
big.
Also, this is like, I guess in 2008, the federal prosecutor negotiated a controversial non-prosecution agreement with Jeffrey Epstein, Alexander Alex Acosta, who became Trump's. What was he in charge of? The Justice Department, maybe? I don't know. In the first, his first
2016 route,
election or whatever, and which was insane, just legally. Like, well, no one's gonna be able to prosecute you, and you'll do like house arrest.
Yeah, it was like 18 months, something.
Yeah,
crazy.
It was something. Real,
and then he
real
didn't
dumb.
It ended up being like 13 months, but he was able to leave. Like his house
work
arrest,
release.
or his work release.
That's what it was.
For his
work release
business that he created, and then he could be there for 12. He could be there for 12 hours
which
out
he
of the
dissolved
day.
as soon as that was over.
And was molesting people while he was doing that.
Of course, you never saw molesting. Come on,
I guess not.
That's what a real pimp do.
It's just so festive. Yeah, we all enjoy it.
But Jenna, to her credit, she keeps going up that hill. Like, she really did have a very ingrained sense of justice and, like, this isn't right. And she said, especially after she had her daughter.
Yeah.
She was like that. Oh, no. Yeah. She was like, something clicked. And I was relatable. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, yeah, something clicked. She was like, oh, God, I don't want her going through what I went through. Like, please. So that's when she was like, I'm putting on my activist boots and we're going to do this. And she's like, it really sucks because I have to spend so much time away from home. You got all these people talking crazy about you, calling her like a drug addict and all this other stuff. And it's just a way to just discredit accusers when they come forth. And they're just like, well, she seemed like a willing participant to me. Like, well, she took the money. She wasn't locked to a bed.
Why didn't she just leave?
Yeah. So, yeah, it just reminds me of like one time, like this happened years ago. My mom got like mugged in broad daylight. Somebody stole her purse. And somebody at her job was like, well, I wouldn't let them take my purse like that. And I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, you don't know what you would do. My mom did the right thing. She's alive right now. So it's like, what? Everybody really thinks that they're going to immediately like turn into Batman as soon as, you know.
And then also, too, had she fought for her purse and ended up getting popped or hit upside her head, why didn't you just let them take it? Like, it wouldn't have mattered. That's the whole thing. Like, when you're a victim, there is no right answer. It's your fault because either you didn't fight hard enough or you didn't fight at all.
It's like
or
you're just
you didn't
a
do this
terrible
or that.
victim.
Yeah, you are. Why didn't you do that right? It's like, well, where was the script for that?
I know. I would have been a brave genius.
It's like, let's see how you do it now. I'm about to bust you upside your head with my purse, actually. Let's see how you handle that.
Yeah, everybody just thinks they would be just so amazing in these situations where I think I can be honest with myself. I don't know what I do.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to say because you literally don't know. You can suppose what you would want to do, and you can even, I think you can play yourself sometimes thinking that like you're planning for adversity. I think I do this sometimes where it's like, you know, I want to be prepared. So, you know, you go through all of the things that could happen and you're like, okay, this is what I would do. Or, you know, like I'm always planning for these things that haven't happened. And it's like, if you're being really honest with yourself, you don't know how you're going to react in the moment. So you're doing all this air quotes planning, and then for what? You literally won't know until it's you, until it actually goes down. So, you know, not to say that like mentally it could, I mean, maybe it could help, but I just think mostly, nah, you can't know until you're in the situation. And then it's certainly really gross to tell people once they've been victimized that they are doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. Or that they should have done something else. And it's like, yeah, but also I shouldn't have ever been victimized, which doesn't seem to be the focal point. And that is the most infuriating thing about all of it, is the fact that like the focus is almost always on
the victim.
the
Like, why
victim
didn't
in
the
a
victim
bad
do this?
right, or
instead
why
of,
did they do this?
Why does he feel the need to sleep with 14-year-olds?
Yeah.
Because she talked about he's very unrepentant. He didn't think there was anything wrong with what he was doing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
liked to flaunt it, like to
Yeah.
show it off. And I feel, let me get through the whole story. Let me get through the whole book first before I get into all of my special opinions. So at this point in the story, kids are still young. She's having also a myriad of physical problems too, which is, very common.
Stress.
The mind suffers and the body cries out. So, what part do I want to get to? I guess like one of the parts that really pissed me off was her trying to reconcile with her dad. Like, I understood trying to reconcile with her mom, even though that would have been very difficult for me. But on the whole, the mama ended up taking accountability eventually, and they were able to kind of build a relationship.
Not taking the accountability
She
per se.
apologized.
Right, but that's not the same.
You know what? Fair. She ends up at least apologizing.
And I think
because
she
the
was
daddy
like,
never even admitted to Well, I think he did admit it, but I don't know if he apologized because she said something.
So at the beginning of the book, also in the midst of what you had pointed out in terms of
the ghostwriter,
and stuff like that, she also mentioned that they reached out for comment from her dad about the accusation she put in this book, because she didn't like. She was like, when I first started writing about this, I wasn't including that part, but I finally decided to. And his response was like, absolutely not. I never did anything like that. I don't know why she.
I gave her everything she ever wanted,
all this kind of stuff. So publicly, he definitely never admitted it. But then, like, to her, there were times, because like when old boy had molested her, this was the part that
Uncle
really fucked me
Forrest.
up. Uncle Forrest came to her house after this stuff had been going on. He had been sexually abusing her, and he comes over, and her dad's like, hey, your Uncle Forrest has something to say to you. You know what I'm saying? You need to listen to him. He's been saved or whatever. He's a man of God now. And so Forrest comes over to her and like kind of like forces her down to her knees, which she was like, this is a familiar position. And was like, you need to ask God for forgiveness for, what we did, with what you did with me and your dad. So it's kind of like, how are you sitting here in this moment acknowledging that something happened with us, but then it was like he was admitting it, but he wasn't saying it to her directly.
Right. Like this whole thing that's very common with abusers. Where they're
gaslighting.
Yeah, real heavy. Like, I hated that part so much.
It was so awful. She was like, it might have been funny if it wasn't so fucked up. Because it was just like
you're serious.
Because I would have been rolling. Like, that would have been my trauma response to that. Because it's so absurd. It's like, I know your abusive ass. Y'all are not sitting here right now. Like, if I wasn't terrified as hell, because I know you guys are crazy, like, I would be laughing, because this is, you cannot be
serious right now, but they are.
So that was something that really got me too. I just wanted to pop that in there, because it was just kind of like, just speaking to whether or not the dad admitted it. So I don't think
it sounds like in the book, he may have, according to her, like kind of apologized. But like I said, he's not really, like you said, he's not taking accountability. No. He's not trying to make amends.
But he kept doing creepy shit though.
That part.
Because Robbie, her husband, wanted to whoop his ass.
That's when I really liked Robbie.
That was good.
That was when I was like, man, Robbie, you better use that Muay Thai and just get to. And here's the other thing too, because like I said, I don't know how I would really act, because I've never been her. But to me, the fact that I have children, and then you know what he did to you when you were a child, you don't get to be around my kids. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's not worth the risk to me, in my mind, as I am right now.
Right, without the abuse, without all of the things, and without the longing for, like, I just want a regular dad, or cherry picking the moments where you felt like, well, remember we used to ride horses together? Like, I want to make that the focal point or whatever like that. But because I want to go back to that with boundaries, and then with parents. That'll be something we can double back on when we actually start making all of our points when we get through the story.
Okay. And so at this point, there's she's a lot of court cases, a lot of in and out of court.
Which, mind you, she lived in
like Australia.
So we're talking
a lot of travel.
Flying from, she said in 2016 or 17, she flew back and forth from the States from Australia like 4 different times.
Yeah.
And she had kids at the time, so it was
that's commitment.
dude, I'm struggling to.
And then you see why most people just don't engage. They're like,
Because
I'm just
it's
going to
so
pretend like
much.
this never happened.
I'm gonna bury this so deep,
and I'm just gonna like
try to
and the
be
fact
regular.
that she was very truthful about encountering her own complicity in abusing other girls and recruiting other girls, because I know that had to be tough too, to be like, yeah, I was very much a part of this too, this sickness. But she's like, but that's why I'm fighting it now. So she's never. It was really crazy because the way she was really able to get Ghislaine was on defamation. That was interesting. And the fact that later on, when they were able to actually lock Ghislaine up, it was because of a lot of the stuff from the defamation case.
Yeah.
And so, and this is similar to the legal press. All this stuff is like boring, but important, because that's also like with our current sitting president, because the woman he sexually abused and got found guilty in civil court, she was able to go back and get more money because he kept lying about not having done it when it was
under
like,
these depositions. Like there was some deposition.
no,
where
this
she-
was just in public. Like in
okay.
public,
I thought
he
you meant
kept
Ghislaine.
no, because defamation has to be public. So it was. She kept publicly saying that she was lying about it, and she was like, no, I'm not. And like every time you say that, I can get more money.
And
So,
the depositions were the thing that helped them prove it too,
Yeah,
because she
for-
was actually talking. So she was saying like,
Yeah.
I'm lying. But then when you get into that deposition, and they were able to, because I think that particular deposition wasn't made public until some years later. So
Right.
once it was like, oh, we can collect this and use this toward our defamation because
Right.
you said that never happened, but you
it
know what I'm saying?
actually did.
Yeah, we
So
can
they
now prove
use
that it happened.
But with
yeah.
the president, like because he does a lot of jaw jacking, and so that to me was an interesting thing where a lot of time, because it is so legally hard to go after predators. So to me, this seemed like a pretty ironclad way to go after people, especially if they keep calling you a liar when you've proven your story. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah. So
I feel like the second half, or like the end of the book, was largely focused on the legal aspect of how
going in
all
and out
of
court.
her
Prince Andrew
interviews from like all of her interviews from her very first one that she did, unfortunately, with sort of a tabloidy kind of person.
She just didn't know.
And learning the difference
she got
between
paid
who you
for it
share
and
your
stuff,
story
yeah.
with and who you don't, and those kinds of things. But just all of like the media stuff unfolding.
But to me, it's very
and all of that kind of stuff.
understandable.
Of
Like for
course, you don't
everybody who
know.
wants to go after her and stuff like that, like she's supposed to be this media savvy, like she's just a girl from like just
The poor part of
Florida,
whose
you know
parents
what I mean?
abused her, who never had anybody
Yeah.
caping for her. Yeah, and I mean, like, you just have to read like the part, like how she starts the book off being in that place that ended up getting shut down because I think that they were able to prove they were abusing kids. It was so much sexual and physical abuse at that halfway house.
I think there's a John
School.
Oliver about like these kind of places people send
even
their
Paris
kids.
Hilton, even I know hers wasn't even supposed to be like for bad kids. It's just what rich people do sometimes. Again, they send their kids
they
off.
pay they throw money at the problem.
And it's like, yeah, you don't know what's happening. So the abuse is rampant in those sort of scenarios. But
Facilities
everywhere
and
you
the
go,
little places where they promise they'll turn your kid not gay, like all of the conversion therapy and stuff like that. Like all of those places, it's just rampant abuse.
yeah, it's real bad. So, yeah, you really do see her advocacy coming to a head. But one of the parts that got me too was the fact that like at one point, her husband was having to travel and she was there at her home with their kids, and they were in a remote area because paparazzi was, like all of these stories and stuff were coming out. And, the block was hot, okay? Like, and the closer you get to revealing these truths, the angrier people get. So intimidation starts happening, and there's a car that like drives up her driveway, which she's like, if somebody's driving up my driveway, like you have to be coming to see me because it's remote as hell. Yeah. And they were just like parked in her driveway, like flashing the lights into her house. Her kids were there, and how she had like to wake her kids up, put them in the closet, cover them up, trying to keep them calm. But also like at this point, her husband was like insisting that they had guns and that they knew how to use them. So she said she had her gun and was like basically in the doorway with her gun, waving it like,
Come and get me.
like, what are we doing? I'm just standing here. If you're gonna do something, then you need to go ahead and do it because I'm here to protect my family. And I just thought, wow, that's you never, you think like same thing. Like you want to think like, oh yeah, if something like that happens, I would be a coward and be like, in the closet with my kids, hoping they just go away, but like that you stand up and defend and stuff. So I was just like, man, that's just what a crazy situation to be in, because you're saying what actually happened to you though.
Yeah, that's all that you're just telling your truth. And that's it, but
a problem.
We'll
Don't listen.
The thing. But I mean, pretty much her story.
Hurts.
We know how her story ends. Like I'm not totally convinced she took her life, because, like I said, she's tried a couple times before and didn't do it.
Yeah. So what was crazy toward the end of the book was that you hear that her physical health is declining. She had a neck surgery that caused her to be in constant pain, which caused her to get back like on pain meds. And during her time with Jeffrey Epstein, she was taking stuff to numb herself, drinking and stuff like that. Yeah. So she was nervous about taking the pills, but then ended up taking them, and then, you know, kind of fell back into some bad habits, and was kind of fighting her way out of that a little bit. So you saw her physically dealing with that, but then also having to relive these details over and over again. She was on this grueling press tour where she felt like, I have this momentum. I'm getting close. Like, I feel like I have to keep saying it. But like everybody around her is kind of like, yo, you need to chill. Your mental health, your physical health is failing. And, she finally does. I think she ends up taking a vacation. I think she said to Rome or something with her family, and being able to take a little bit of a break. But then while she's there, her lawyer, Siggy, who I caped for, she was a really great lawyer. One of her
that part got me a little teared up when she was talking about what was, how happy she was to have worked for her.
Yeah, like, I mean, just being able to feel like purposeful, like when you're actually really helping people, like when you have a good heart and then your job actually aligns with the kind of person you are or the kind of world you want to have. So, but at that point, she was telling her that Ghislaine was being prosecuted, and she was going to go to jail and stuff. And so that felt like the big, like, oh my gosh, this whole thing happened. And I mean, it kind of ends with that, basically, just that being sort of like the highlight and stuff like that. And also too, like you mentioned, her sort of being able to have some sort of reconciliation with her mom, like apologizing for not protecting her, basically, but also still never being able to talk with her daughter about what happened.
Yeah, because she was like, because she would always shut down conversations. She was like, I can't stand hearing about that. And it's like, I don't know.
So you get to escape it.
Yeah.
And
I'm just not a big fan of parents who prioritize themselves over, like, you brought her to this party, so
here's what happened.
She doesn't owe you something. Like, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So, so I was really happy that she got to see that. And like you said, she renamed her organization, and largely her life became a lot about her advocacy and feeling this sisterhood and stuff like that with her, with the women who also suffered at the hands of that whole disgusting enterprise. And also too, just kind of aiming her crosshairs at the people who were still out there. She didn't feel like because Ghislaine is in jail, like, oh, it stops here. She was like, no, like anytime they interviewed her, she was like, there are still people out here. This stuff is still happening. I still got people who she wouldn't name. She still wouldn't name them.
Who do you think the prime minister was?
I don't know. I'm
going to ask AI, because I feel like
I have no idea.
They said it's going to come out.
But she was just very adamant about not naming still a couple people, because she was like, I feel like my life is in danger.
Yeah.
I have put my family's life in, my life in danger throughout this whole process. And I feel like at some point I deserve to be able to have some peace. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like that's what she was working toward. But she also, because her mental health was failing, she kept talking about her suicidal ideations, and how this voice kept telling her, like, it would just be easier if you weren't here. And so, like you mentioned before, 2 times she tried to kill herself, but she was trying to get back in therapy, trying to get back on track. And it sounded like she was trying to get her life back together. But as we know, this year earlier, she ended up taking her life, according to sources. So it's just really, really, really sad
that law enforcement knows the prime, like, it's probably in the files.
Of course they know that, because he's named. It's one of those things, like the same thing, like where they weren't releasing the information. Then it comes out after the fact.
Now, you know, one of the conspiracy theories I heard was one of the reasons your president wanted to shut down the government was to delay the release of the Epstein files.
Probably. I would not, seeing how far reaching this stuff is, and like, especially because I feel like the AI, there was some kind of AI conference that she referenced. So there was a lot of people like in that world too.
The tech
who are now,
and
it's like tech,
academia.
Yes.
Because those people have trouble getting girls. Let Kat and Moni tell you a little something about pimping.
Oh, here we go.
This is what pimps have historically done. They get the girls so that they can sell them to the people who don't know how to get girls. So it's just really as simple as that. And so they've got the game, and they're like, you can play, you can pay to play, but ultimately I have control of, I'm saying girls but it's not always, females, like this is, it's just, it's a shorthand, but yeah. And it's so lame.
It's
like for me,
extremely
it's
lame.
so sad to think about like what my sex life would be if I had to pay for every interaction. Like how, like, to me, I think
maybe that's why they're sad, and then you get the incels and stuff. You know what I mean? Because they realize that they're socially inept, or like you said, they don't want to have to put in the work to become attractive to a woman, or to be interesting to a woman. Because she even commented on the fact that like some of those scientists or people in that academic world seemed so devoid of like any kind of real social skills, and it was just. She was like, yeah, it was just real weird. It was like real awkward because they just didn't seem to have any sort of, no swag, no, nothing. Just.
And I feel like this also, it ties into a couple things. Purity culture, which is very adverse to sex education. But if you have some sex education, and if you also destigmatize just sex in general, I think it makes it harder for predators to do what they do, because there's a lot of shame involved. Like, there were so many parallels between this story and a lot of the stories I would read about Diddy and R. Kelly, Weinstein, any of these guys who've had these long running abuse systems. And there were just so many parallels, but
Well, yeah.
just the idea of like filming people so you can blackmail them later, or just be like, hey, because like, yeah, I have this video of you doing this thing, so if you don't do what I tell you to, I'm gonna show this to your family, and especially for the young women and girls, because women, it's easy to slut shame, to be like, look at this slut. It's like, yeah, she's not. You don't have to take her serious. She's not a real person.
That's
like
so
this
crazy.
idea that somehow because someone, even if they are a sex worker, either by choice or not, like somehow they're less of a person because they've engaged in sex work.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I don't like that either. And I feel like if there was more information and destigmatization around like sex and having a sex life, like for one, it would help these nerds, because it's like, hey, you like learning, you can learn how to be good at sex.
You
like,
really could.
Yeah, like you can learn how to even like talk to people.
Care a little bit.
Yeah, like it's gonna take a little effort, the same way that like people might not know, immediately how to do algebra. You study it, you figure it out.
What are these letters?
Yeah, and it's like you don't have to be the biggest, the strong. It doesn't have to be all of that stuff. Like
as long as you can solve the equation, it's all good.
And the fact that there was this fetishization of young girls, because we see that a lot. And to me, as someone who is not a young person anymore, but still feels like I deserve like a vibrant, like love life. No.
I'm shaking my head no, guys. I'm just kidding.
It's like, actually,
how dare you think you deserve?
No. But my whole thing is like, sleeping with someone so young feels icky. And so I feel like for the people who like preying on young flesh, like it has to come from a certain self-hatred, because I feel like even though I'm older, like there's still some enjoyment to be had there. And I prefer someone closer to my own age for that connection. So it's like, you obviously don't feel like at your age, like since you don't want a peer, You know what I mean? Like to me, that's odd. And I've had like 19, when I've, been in my 40s, had 19-year-olds hit on me. It's flattering and all, but to me, it would just be icky.
Baby, no.
No.
But also, Stella did get her roof back.
No, she didn't. She got hustled for a green card.
Well, that was
That's
the
not
title,
it. That wouldn't
though.
say-
I know it was. It's like Stella got hustled for her green card. For some dick.
read it.
For some dick. Stella, you look dumb at being 40, getting hustled for a green card.
See
for
what
some
I mean?
dick.
Like, when
It's a problem.
the Hollywood version's great.
It is.
You know what I mean?
doesn't-
But the real life version, you just end up paying alimony
to
to.
this young, right? Oh my God.
Could you imagine? Like, I paid all this
I'd
money
be
to get you over
disgusted
here.
with myself. I wouldn't. I'm old enough to know this is my fault.
Shout out to Terry McMillan.
Damn, Terry.
You know what I mean? Because you've done a lot of good work. And
Yeah.
everybody gets hooked.
Hey, it does happen.
Is that our-
It does happen. It does happen. Yep. But listen, I definitely agree with you in terms of that Overton window, because it's like, that I feel like that seems to be a defense that gets popped up when it comes to young, like why men or women like go after younger people. It's like, well, back in the day, my grandma was 14 when she got with my granddad, and he was 32, and they had 12 kids, and they were still together. And it's like,
She also couldn't vote.
She couldn't own property. What was she gonna do? She was 14.
Couldn't get
She
birth
was
control.
knocked up.
Yeah.
Where was she gonna go?
What was
Be
she really
homeless,
gonna
go
do?
squat in the streets
No,
and have a child
like
on
I
her
said,
own?
your other option is becoming a sex worker.
Exactly. So it doesn't lend itself to all of these fabulous options. You know
Nope.
what I'm saying? So like that's not really a defense. And it just was gross when he would say that, because she was always like, he was going out of his way to defend the fact that he liked younger women and just all of this pseudoscience to back it up. And that's what niggas do.
And the fact that he had to like have sex 3 times a day.
Ew.
I was like, find something else to do.
Read a book.
Yeah, I'm like, who has that? I guess we know who has that kind of time. Pimps.
But that's why Ghislaine was like, yo, I got to get these other girls in here because I can't satisfy him. And she was there for the lifestyle and stuff. You know what I mean? She come from a rich family.
I would be interested. Did you ever watch Filthy Rich on Netflix? Their thing? I watched it back when it came out, so I don't remember it super clearly, but basically just how they linked up, because, he did not come from money. So he was attracted to the fact that, she kind of had this pedigree, and then of course could introduce him.
It validates his need
Yeah.
to feel important, to be in those circles. Yeah. What a
So what do you think of the royal family part? Like, because everyone now, I feel like Prince Andrew's been in the news now because he's had his royal title stripped and blah, blah, blah.
And y'all been knowing he was doing all this. So
First
for you to
off-
be stripping who cares?
Here's the thing. I think we should have murdered these people a long time ago. Like the royal family, I don't think they should exist. I'm not saying murder them, but like
Well, it's too late for that now. We can't do that
maybe
now.
sterilize them. Like, I think that's the kindest thing you can do in these because whenever you can point to someone and be like, they have the royal blood, there's gonna be dipshits who are just like, Your Majesty. It's like, we are Americans. The whole point of being America was getting away from that bullshit. So, and racism. So it's like, which we learned from the British really well. Like, to me, the royal family, it's like they are the poster children for racism, colonization, genocide, robbing people of their wealth. To me, like the fact that it was like, well, we can't have him sleeping with underage girls. It's like, that's the line. I mean, not to saying like you shouldn't have a line.
He's been doing it though. That's the thing. It's like, why are we now pretending like he hasn't been doing this whole time?
Good point, Moni. Because like I said, this has been going since like the 80s,
Man,
90s
come
or
on,
whatever.
man.
And he used to be married to Fergie. And I remember Fergie was always in the tabloids. They were always on her neck for bullshit. Like she was caught sunbathing topless. Oh, she gained a couple pounds. Oh,
Their media, the
British tabloids.
The British tabloids are relentless. It sounds like they go hard. Y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all are bored. And let me not talk about.
Well, and
y'all.
like I
Let
said,
me
because we
stop.
know like Princess Diana, she'd always be in the news and stuff like that. But like, yeah, they would always, to me, they were always going after the women. But it's like, what these men doing?
And they're ugly. I'm sorry.
They
I was
are
trying to hold it back. It's like these dudes
ugly.
are not attractive.
Because we always like, someday my prince will come. And it's like,
if it's
oh,
him,
I'll take
ew.
the stable boy.
I'm
I
cool.
don't.
Period.
I'm like, I'm cool.
Gross.
cool
Yuck.
off of that. And also none of them seem, they're not Prince Charming either.
No,
'Cause,
they're
you know,
Prince. I'm allowed to have sex with, underage women and sweat profusely.
Maybe had a little too much incest in my genetic lineup as well.
Which might
And it
explain why I
shows.
look like this.
Yeah, and it shows.
Yuck.
Yeah. So, I mean, just 2 middle fingers to the royal family in general. I don't know why it's like there's always this, oh my God. No. Fuck off. Ugh, I hate them so much.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
to me, I don't forget, like, I don't care that you have a fancy outfit on. Like, you are still, like,
Gross.
yeah, you're war criminals. And like so much of like our problems in the world stem from like
Y'all.
the stuff y'all did for centuries. Like it's not
that?
great. Oh, that?
But what about my Jews?
Oh, but look at my hat. Ooh, look at my little purse.
Oh my
Man, I love Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney's
like when
hilarious.
he went off on Queen Elizabeth, he was like, "Fuck that ugly bitch." He was like, "Y'all think I'm
I
playing?
love it.
I
He's
don't
like, no,
like
he's
that
like,
bitch.
for real.
No, like for real. Like with
Man.
all them stolen crowns, all those stolen jewels from Africa in her crown.
Oh my
it's like
God.
fuck her."
Hold up. Paul Mooney.
Let's take a break.
I'm going to look for it. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back from our break.
Jeepers. Jeepers.
It's
You
a
know what this
story.
kind of reminded me of too? A lot. The lyrics to "They Not Like Us."
Are you going to sing it?
No.
Oh.
But there was a line that these predators move in flocks. And I think that is
What's the
important
word?
to remember.
What's the word?
Bird?
Well, yes. Yes, and there's a specific word that maybe doesn't exist that we should actually come up with. This is
Okay.
another little thing we can do is what do you call a flock of predators? Like they wouldn't be a flock,
Oh,
but it's not a pride. It's
right.
not a, like
Not
what
a
do you
not
call
a
it?
murder.
Not
of
a murder of
predators.
predator. Well, that would be a good one, but
Yeah, but Crow's already got that.
we got to figure that out.
We do.
I feel like we
That'll
need to
be our
come up.
homework for the week.
Yeah, what
Because I'm gonna come up.
is-
We'll both have. We'll come up, and then that can be something that perhaps
Maybe
our
we can ask you
listeners
guys.
can vote on.
for a group, because I'll forget.
Yeah. Also, in my notes that I want to bring up before we get out of here, because I know you probably thought it was over, but I am gonna sing. When Jenna was talking about that reform school she was in, and when
Yes.
the parents came, they had to sing that song, "I'm a Promise."
I died. I remember that song.
You remember that song?
Yes.
Should we
One,
sing it together?
Anna, two, Anna.
I am a promise. I am a possibility. I am a promise with a capital P. I am a great big bundle of potentiality. And if
Oh,
you're
that's all I know.
listening, you'll hear God's voice. And if you're trying, He'll help you make the right choices. I'm a promise to be anything God wants me. I'm a promise to be anything God wants me. I'm a promise to be anything God wants me to be. Bum, bum, bum. Or it's like, He wants me to be. Yeah, it was yeah.
I just remember the first verse. I didn't know that second part, but I was like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
remember that. The fact that I did know, I'm impressed.
Yes.
I'm a part of
Oh,
it.
it took it all the way back.
Wow.
Wow.
Like you have these kids singing this, knowing that you're it was gross. That was absolutely gross. What a
Yeah.
And it just makes you think about the cycle. Like you mentioned earlier that these things don't happen in a vacuum. Like it's not like people are just waiting to become victims of these things, but these situations that happen, these abuse systems tend to lend themselves to you being an easy target or prey, if you will, for these sort of predators. Because that's exactly what they are. It's like they know. It's like they can sniff you out. You know
Just,
what I
like I
mean?
said, Ghislaine, she's been doing this for so long. Like, took
Man.
one look and clocked her.
Yeah, and that was kind of like her thing too. With like getting Ghislaine locked up was like on top of just feeling seen, she was like, it's almost worse in her mind because it's like you were so instrumental in putting so many young women in front of him. Like you were disarming, and then like you're putting, like just putting these women in these situations. So she just was like, that was almost worse in her mind, just because it's like, dude,
because every pimp needs a bottom bitch.
Man,
they can't do
she
it
was
without the
out
bottom
there
bitch.
doing.
Because that was the other thing too. A lot of this reminded me a lot. Recall, once you consume media, it reminds you of other media.
Sure.
And it reminded me a lot of Iceberg Slim's.
Oh, I still haven't read that.
Pimp. It's a quick read. We'll read it one time. I just want to, I feel like we should have a guest.
For Iceberg Slim's book.
Yeah.
Man, well, I'm sure it's compelling.
Yeah,
Lots
but
of good
at
info.
the end of the book, there's just a glossary because they use so many terms.
That are specific
Pimp
to
terms.
the pimp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
so, I feel like Dave Chappelle, because he did like a little liturgy on pimp in one of his stand-ups.
Yeah.
And was just talking about, like you got the term bottom bitch and
Yes.
renegade. That's one of my favorite terms. That's a hoe with no pimp.
Damn.
And that is
renegade.
interestingly in Iceberg Slim's book, a renegade is a pimp's biggest enemy. Like you can't have.
bet.
That's why they're always, pimps are always trying to like keep
Break
them
you
from.
down.
Yeah, like you can really get messed up out here being a renegade because then you a bad example to my hoes.
Right. They want to
Thinking
be
they
like
can-
you.
Yeah, it's like we can't have none of that.
Oh.
Yeah,
terrible. This is
and
awful.
mileage. Talking
Okay.
about, a real pimp can see how much
many
mileage
miles
a
you got.
hoe has on her. Like how much you're going to be able to make off of her.
Wow.
And for how long? Like till she hits the end of her mileage. And I think because getting back to purity culture, because I think for so many people who grew up the way Jenna did, how a lot of young people grow up in the States where there's, you're just doing abstinence only sex education, and there's this huge shame around wanting to have a sex life. The pimps seem to be offering you that in a way, because it's like you can either, go this route where you're marrying this dude you may or may not want to be with forever, or we can give you a life of sexual selection, basically, but not really, because I'm selecting who you have sex with. So it's, instead of being like, actually, it's not a binary. You can, like, you're free, as it turns out.
They don't want you to be, though.
No,
That's
they
the
don't.
even sadder part about
Freedom is
that.
a pimp's worst enemy.
It's real crazy. Speaking of that, but so like again, just to kind of reiterate that this isn't just this small problem too, because I think that like you could tend to say, well, like somebody like Jeffrey Epstein, like this was an anomaly. Like he's this one ultra
Once
rich
in a
person
generation.
kind of thing, and
Yeah.
she's like, that's the one thing that I think that she worked really hard to kind of like showcase, is the fact that like this is pervasive, this is widespread, and like you say, they run in flocks, and it doesn't just, it's not like, oh, a couple of bad apples. Like they always want to make it seem like, oh, this was an isolated incident. So I just really admire her work in terms of her advocacy and how she tried to shine a light on the fact that this is a big problem, but then also too how the system itself tries to turn a blind eye, and we see that happening. It's becoming more. What's weird is that it's becoming more mainstream. Like we are hearing more, we are seeing more of that being highlighted in the media. So just real quick, and I mean, this was a story that I found that's close to home in Indiana. So Indiana, hold on, let me click on this real quick. So Micah Beckwith, does that ring a bell? Let's see, not now. So this story says, son of pastor, this is the title, son of pastor who is part of Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA religious outreach arm, Jonathan Peternell, has been arrested for a possession of over 2,000 child sex abuse images. So yeah, he's affiliated with the church. So it says his partner is Michael Beckwith, and Life Church Noblesville pastor, the co-host of Jesus, Sex, and Politics, Rallying to Reclaim America for Christ, both trained in TPUSA events. I mean, like, he pleaded not guilty, and he remains jailed without bond.
I'm sure he's claiming that this is just Satan's attack on him. and all
Satan
of
made
that
him
stuff.
do it.
Well, no, that Satan, he's going to deny that he ever did any of
Oh,
this. He's going
this
to
is
say
Satan
that
trying to do
Satan
this to
is
him.
just trying to undo his good work that
So
he's
Satan
doing for
downloaded
the
all this
Lord.
stuff on your phone?
Or are just the prosecutors, everybody who's going after them.
They're supposed to just leave him alone.
Yeah, they're being influenced by Satan. Like that wasn't him. I mean, that's what they do. Like, they're never like, oh, full accountability, guys. I'm sick. I need help. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's never that. It's always somebody else's fault. I didn't do this. They did that. You know, like just how Jenna's daddy was doing.
The Venn diagram would just be crazy.
And the fact, too, because I remember it used to bother me so much that it didn't bother MAGA people that Trump talked about having sex with his daughter to the amount that he did.
Yeah,
but now I'm like, makes a ton of sense. A lot of your followers are just with the shits.
Yeah, this is what they do, I guess. I mean, this is
I remember
totally
reading
normal.
Jenna Jameson's autobiography years ago. A lot of parallels. Of course, like that was porn, not straight up sex trafficking, but
I'm sure there's some Venn diagram overlap
yeah, now
there.
her daddy didn't touch on her. Like sounded like
That's
she
good.
had like a very good dad and stuff like that. But she met a lot of girls who didn't have good dads.
How bad?
And this was sounded a lot like what Jenna went through.
My goodness. So yeah, just to, full circle with it.
And also a reminder to be curious and not judgmental a lot of times when you see young people acting out, because a lot of times it's like, you need to just listen to your mama, or you need to just
because she was like, that was the thing she was so mad at her mom about, because she was like, she never asked me what was wrong, because she started running away from home. She started acting out in school because it was like nobody, and that was after she tried to out her dad and nobody did anything. So she was like, I'm running away.
Yeah.
And then you're this problem child all of a sudden. And she even points out that was the story a lot of the time when she would hear stories about other young women who were victimized in that way. It was like, oh yeah, was in band, was, a student in sports. And then this thing happens. And then all of a sudden, like they're cutting school. They're, a problem child all of a sudden. So yeah, I think that is really good to point out that usually there's something behind it.
Yeah, usually the people who are being trafficked in this world are very vulnerable, and like I said, they're not perfect victims. Like they're not someone you can point to and just been like, oh, it's not like the little girl from Taken, you know what I'm saying, where I'm just on this Paris trip. Like generally, quite honestly, a lot of because I thought it was interesting too that they pointed out that Epstein actually didn't like it that the girls doing drugs.
Oh yeah.
Like, and that was the thing, and that was in
anything.
Pimp too. In Iceberg Slim's book, he was like, yeah, a real pimp does not want like his hoes doing drugs.
Coked out and whatnot.
Yeah, like your pimp game is their drug.
Oh my God. I'm so sick of it.
I know.
Well, guys, that wraps up the show. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you made it through this. It's a lot, but I would definitely recommend this book. I think if you're curious to know how somebody gets into something like this, how that kind of plays out, or if you're interested in expanding the way that you look at people who you may consider like, I think there's a lot of people out there who look at people who call themselves victim or have been victimized in this way. They don't understand it. And so I think maybe having this story, like having her go in depth into her background, her childhood, might illuminate that.
And her flaws.
And I think she did a really good job of just putting herself out there.
Yeah.
She did not paint herself as a perfect person. She admitted to the best of her ability. And, I think for what it's worth, I think she made it easy to focus on what the real issue was the predatory behavior that was surrounding her from the time she was a child up until she died, basically. And so, so let's rate the book then, friend.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a 5 out of 5. I don't even know. I guess reform schools.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 horses, just because she loved horses a bunch.
Yeah.
And that was like she loved animals. And that was the one thing that kind of
did.
gave her healing and feeling good
Yeah.
about it. So just, 5 horses. And, just another shout out to her for this undertaking has to have been so grueling for her, just even talking about it, but then also getting it on paper. But I think it's super important. I hope her kids are proud of her, you know what I'm saying, for fighting the bad guys,
And I really did enjoy when she talked about her kids.
Yeah,
Like,
it
you
was
could
very
really
sweet.
see that brought her a lot of joy. So
Yes, it did.
your body
friend.
belongs to you.
It does.
So if somebody tries to traffic you, stomp them in the nuts.
Yes, absolutely. Do the stuff you love. Also, we didn't spin the wheel, so let's do that real quick.
Oh.
Spin it. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. friend.
All right, so we are going to be reading Paul Mooney's Black is the New White.
Oh my gosh.
So we referenced Mr. Mooney earlier with his comments about Queen Elizabeth of England.
They are in the show notes. I have the YouTube. I already copied and pasted the link, so I won't forget.
I actually might put like a little clip of it at the end of the episode.
My
So if you stick
God.
around after the credits, every once in a while I like to throw in a little something at the end of the
bonus.
credits. Yeah, for people who really, if you really
ride
rock
for
with
us,
us,
yeah.
You
Oh
get a
my
little
gosh.
treat.
Yes, this will be good. I'll be curious to get inside the mind of Mr. Paul Mooney. Definitely. So, you guys, with that, we're going to let you go. Get on out of here. Do something fun for yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people you love. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.
The queen, that dirty, murdering, ugly-ass bitch, she did it. Bitch. She stole all them diamonds she stole from Africa, stealing, murdering bitch. Ugly bitch. Oh, her mama's ugly, her daddy's ugly, her son is ugly, her son's new wife looked like Dane Edna, that's ugly bitch. They all are ugly. Queen Elizabeth looks like sheep shit in shallow-ass water. If she's the queen, what the fuck does the witch look like?